And then we'll go live here. Come on, Facebook. And then, like I said, we'll do Bada bing. A bada boom. And we are live. Cindy, Dalecki in the house. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I didn't even have to hound you too much.
No, you didn't.
It was like a nice little.
It was like a couple of little reminders. Like I ran into you, and then I was like, okay, so I found a date and put it on my calendar.
Well, I know you. Did you just come back from the UK?
I did. Yes, London was amazing.
I saw the photos. Well, I didn't know you were going because you booked it, and then I saw you were going to the UK. I'm like, that's why it's 3 weeks out.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Well, I mean, just a quick tangent. Well, we have to do this. For those that don't know, this is Cindy Dalecki, the founder of Marketing to Go. You've been doing this for a decade-ish?
Yes, yeah, 9 years. It's our 9-year anniversary. It's hard to believe.
Amazing.
I know.
And so you've been in Palm Coast. You've got the marketing company. You got the new office in Flagler Beach, which I think is fantastic.
Oh, we love it there.
Because I even told my wife, I was like, she should be here quickly. She said she's on her way. And were you at the office earlier?
Well, the construction. So I kind of did a couple loops. I was like, oh, wait. Yeah. So I can't go this way.
The dunes.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, if you don't know who this beautiful lady is, then sit back, enjoy the show. You are a huge inspiration for a lot of people. You are everywhere.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think there's 5 of you.
Maybe, yes.
You can just like, you
it's
have
like that movie.
Stand-ins.
Yeah,
But thank you again for coming. And then,
my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that UK. I want to start there. I mean, what an experience.
It was so amazing. I had not been to London before. My sister-in-law was kind of Googling for, different trips and summer vacations and found a really good deal on a flat and a flight. So it was my brother, my sister-in-law, my 2 nephews, my niece, and my friend Sharon.
Nice.
I know. So we just had
you all left from Orlando together?
So
or did you all
right. There was 3, crowd stuff. So my brother's a pilot. So he met us. Did he meet us in Miami or London? I can't remember. I think he was in Miami at the same time we were.
A pilot?
Yes.
For what airline?
American.
Good for him.
Yeah, and he does Buenos Aires trip, So and then I went to Sanford to my brother and sister-in-law's house. We piled up the kids, and we went to Miami, and then my friend Sharon lives in Kansas City, Missouri. So she met us in Miami, and then we all went on the same flight to London.
Amazing. Your sons went?
No boys.
This was a mama trip.
Yes.
Mama trip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it had to been. Right?
Oh, yeah. The weather was perfect London weather, rainy and cold, right?
Perfect.
So you just wear a jacket and carry an umbrella wherever you go, You saw some of the pictures on Facebook.
I did.
It was 4 days. So we packed everything we could into those 4 days. We saw the crown jewels. We saw, went on these, double-decker bus tours. We did the Buckingham Palace, changing of the guards, the churches and the castles.
All in 4 days?
All in 4 days. We just jammed it. It was amazing.
Quick crazy question, this is how the show goes. When you're traveling and you've been an independent contractor, digitally speaking, for so long now, do you sometimes want to scream it from the rooftops? Do you ever wonder I wonder how many other people are interneters? When you're in the airports and stuff, do you ever get that feeling?
And sometimes, yeah.
When you're traveling, do you have stuff that your name and the brand's on?
I do not.
You don't?
No.
Really?
But I run into people. It's funny. And I didn't run into anybody this trip, but I was in the New York airport. And this guy goes, Cindy.
No way.
And Dalton, my son, is with me. And he goes, you do not know someone in the New York airport, like LaGuardia or whatever.
Was
it was
a
really
client
funny.
Or just someone from around
It was someone from here. I can't remember now. Yeah, but it was really funny.
That's how it works.
I know.
The minute you get out of your zip code, I've got crazy stories where I've run into people in the middle of nowhere in other countries of people. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It almost amplifies your relationship too, because as we're getting older, you don't really stay in touch with a lot of people you grew up with. Mm-hmm. So when you see that one, you're like, now you stay in touch a little bit more. You're like, hey, you traveling again?
I know. When I saw you on Facebook, yeah.
But what an amazing experience. Well, welcome home too.
Thank you.
It's always good to be back.
It
right?
is. It was amazing to be home. Yeah.
I'm just so excited that you're here because I love having people on the show that are in our this space, this interneting space. How are you? What are things going on right now? Are you feeling things are good? Is it because I got a lot of the SEO world's killing me. I don't know, but how are you? How is Cindy? Let's take it from the top. Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, I have a question. Okay. where were you from before you came here? Because I don't know this.
Sure.
Does you mind if we get?
Absolutely, that's fine.
I've always wanted to get to know this.
Absolutely.
Let's go from
I'll
chronological.
Give you the condensed down version. So I'm an Air Force brat. My dad is a retired Air Force colonel, 23 years. Wow. So we moved every 3 years. So I heard someone say at one time, "Oh, so you have a spotty education and a great personality." I was like, "Oh, that pretty much sums it up, right?" Yeah, because every 3 years, right? You're moving schools, but you're making new friends, right?
So every 3 years you're moving.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when I went to started going into high school, my parents were like, "Oh, it'd be good to have you in one, school." And they tried to send us somewhere really cold. My mom was like, "No." So we ended up in Florida, and I didn't know at the time because I was maybe, I don't know, in 9th grade, why everyone was so excited that we were moving to Florida. They were like, "Oh my gosh, you're moving to Florida. That's great." Right. I was like, "Oh, I move every 3 years. I don't know, whatever, yeah." And of course, best place to live ever, right. So we've traveled and lived in different areas. And of course, I wouldn't live anywhere else. It's just amazing, right? I love it here. And then went to UCF, went to DeLand High School, and then UCF. Yeah, go Knights. And then had one of my boys in Orlando, Dalton. He's 20 now.
Is he the oldest of the two? He's the
oldest. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, they're both Volusia County Beach lifeguards.
They're like,
I know, they're insane.
They've grown up. They're already like 6.
Yeah, they're 6.
Handsome
Tyler's
mans.
probably like 6'3" or 4. Adults probably 6'2". Yeah, yeah, good looking boys. And they so Tyler's in 11th grade. Okay. Dalton just graduated with a 4.0 average from Daytona State with his 2-year degree, and then he's going to UCF in the fall. So he's all set up with his apartment, and he'll have a pod of 4 people in there. Yes, it's so cool. And so yeah, I lived in Orlando. My mom was coming out 3 days a week from here to watch Dalton as he was a baby, right? And I said, "Oh man, that's too much." So we moved to Edgewater, had a house built out there, right? Edgewater to Ormond by the Sea, pretty far still, right? I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So 17 years ago, because I was pregnant with Tyler and he's 17, we moved to Ormond by the Sea.
I see.
Yeah, and I worked for the Daytona Beach News Journal for about 9 years.
This is where I start to know of the Cindy Dalecki.
Got it. Mm-hmm,
You're at the news. It was the News Journal?
It was the News Journal. There was a job in between there. They ended up going out of business. And it was the News Journal for 9 years. And it was fantastic because I got to know most of the business owners in the county. Which is that great. Where
you started? Because when I remember hearing of you, that was it. It was like you were everywhere. Is that in a good way? I mean this sincerely. Is that probably was kind of the catalyst of just getting to know you? You just seemed to be at the right place at the right time, and you knew good people, and you were a connector.
Events. Yeah, connector. Absolutely.
So that's where this starts to evolve. And then what starts the order of like, when did you make that leap?
So
did you always have a bug when you were like growing up that you're like, I gotta do something?
When I would sit in meetings, at different companies, I would say, "Oh my gosh, I would never have a meeting on a Monday morning at 9. That's just torture." Or I would say, "Oh my gosh, if I was a manager, I would never do that." Right. Or, "Gosh, that's a really great training program. I got to remember that," right? So you've always got.
So you always had the wheels moving.
Always had the wheels moving. Always knew I wanted to start a business. Didn't know what it was. Didn't want to be like an ad agency.
Right.
So social media comes on. Right. The court.
This is like almost 2 decades ago too. So it's even more. That not everyone and their mother's interneters yet.
Right.
So it's even more of a
education, right? So I was working at the News Journal, and they were going through a lot of turmoil themselves. Lots of layoffs, lots of acquisitions and mergers and things like that.
Prints going.
Yeah, paper and ink, very costly, right? Nobody's reading the hard paper anymore. And I had a customer say to me, "Hey, I see what you're doing on Facebook for your nonprofits," because we were, disposting things for the Flagler Beach Historical Museum and Teens in Flight and the United Way Women's Initiative, that kind of thing. And he said, "I want you to do that for my business, and I'll pay you." I was like, "Really?
Wait a minute.
What a great idea." Right. Yeah. And of course it was already a thing for celebrities and, in New York and LA and, those kind of things. Right. But
in our little town.
No, Flagler County, Florida, right? And there wasn't necessarily like business pages set up. Like I remember setting up the Historical Museum's Facebook page, and it was as a person. Flagler Beach Historical Museum.
Pages right. Then.
Yeah.
But it was even more foreign to people. Like, what do you mean it's set up on Facebook? So yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how it started. So I was doing a little side gig, like that. And then I got laid off one day and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I got a 3-month severance package. Right. So that got me, held me over.
It was like your beginning.
Yeah. And I was out that week with business cards, knocking on doors and hey, there's this great thing called social media. Yeah. And I don't know that I would have, because you have a retirement plan, you have health insurance, and you've got all that stuff.
It's tough to walk away from a W-2.
Mm-hmm,
That's, a lot of people are like.
And it's not for everyone.
No.
Because I work 24/7.
I know.
Pretty much still do. And you know that very well, right?
I'm sure we get the chuckles when someone's like, must be nice, run your own business.
Right. Sure is.
You want to come work on your honeymoon, bro? Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like people have.
In London, I'm like, I gotta get the Wi-Fi.
So what were you, 6 hours ahead?
5.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I like that one.
Right.
Have you ever done the behind?
Oh, I'm sure.
It's worse.
The other way. Yeah.
People are. It's 9 o'clock in the States, and you're like behind.
It was nice. This way.
Yeah, you're like in the future.
Right. Because I remember texting a customer, and I was like, oh, what time?
It's 4 a.m. I
know exactly. And he goes, well, they're not quite in yet. They'll be in at 8. And I was like, oh my gosh, what time did I text them? And I looked back, and it was only a few minutes before 8, so I felt okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's cool being in the future when you're working. Like for your clientele.
Right.
But it's interesting. I didn't know that backstory. And I feel like that's probably was your blessing in disguise to kind of just make 100%. That. I needed the same thing. Just a little like, I had always thought about something, and one day I walk into work and they're like, peace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it.
I know. And people are crying. I'm like, oh, no, don't cry. I'm good. Right? I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. And so when someone tells me now, that they were laid off, I was like, oh, congratulations. What do you want to do? What do you really want to do? I do. And I'm not being insensitive.
No. I do the same. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I do the same. If someone called me like, hey man, most of the time I'll call them and I don't, how like, that's just how the guy upstairs works. He's able to make that phone call and talk to that person a while. And they're like, hey man, I just got laid off or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Right.
I see opportunity.
It happened twice this week, actually. I called people.
Really?
Or twice.
And that's part of the show. Actually, it's like 99% of the show is for those that listen to it. And whatever time you're killing right now, driving in the car, or going where, you're on I-4.
Time, yes.
It's to remind you that like, there's life going on. It's not all fun and games. And it's a real world out there, but it's also important to know that like, it's always another season, but that's really exciting. So that was a blessing in disguise, having that background in the news journal, because you you had the connections.
I had relationships. I had trust.
Right.
I knew I was within their best interest for something new, social media. Was really only Facebook,
Right.
So yeah, it was great. And you work 24/7. And I want to bring the family aspect into it. Of course, my boys they're 20 and 17 now. So started the business 9 years ago. Right. So they're just, still little tykes. And I brought them everywhere, to business after hours, entrepreneur nights, whatever it was. And people loved it. Like today, they're like, oh, like you. Oh my gosh, they're so tall now. I remember them when they were babies. You brought them here, and it's just great. So I don't want to put a facade out there like you can do it all. You kind of can. You have to be really full of energy and eat right, and I don't want to say not drink, but that just makes you tired. I mean, I drink very little, but yeah, you gotta keep healthy and.
Are you on the drinking tangent? I'm like 3-ish. I asked my wife today, so because I dry out for around this time for a tournament I do out of town for soccer, and it takes old at his man.
Oh yeah,
especially at this dinosaur age in soccer. So I've been drying out. I think I'm at like 4 weeks. I haven't had a sip of alcohol. Yeah. Now I'm not like raging alcoholic anyways, but I enjoy my recreational activities.
Right.
Are you, what's your flavor? You're always kind of, if you're out and about, you're like a cocktail-y.
Jack Fire on the rocks. I'm a whiskey girl, and or cider. So when I was in Ireland. It's like a cider beer? Cider beer. Okay. Yeah. I was in Ireland. The chamber did a trip and Girling Travel put it together, and I went with the Ryans, Casey Kent, and Maureen Ryan. And I was their second daughter for the trip. And it was Dave didn't want to go. My husband didn't want to go. And he's like, go for it. I was like, all right. It was a price you couldn't, $1,500 or whatever, a whole deal. Yeah. And I was like, great. So I had a wonderful time. And, you go to order you don't order, a margarita in Ireland. They're like, oh, we don't mess with any of that frou-frou stuff over here, Right. So I was like, okay. And I'm not a Guinness girl. That's, too much. And what's the cider? So I started drinking cider.
Okay.
The only deal is it's like 25 grams of sugar in one beer. So it's not too much cider. Yeah. I tried an organic cider in London.
Did you dig?
It tasted like an organic cider. It was not as good.
It was like earthy.
Super.
A worm comes out.
Yeah. Hello.
Well, you're always, when I do run into you at the these events and stuff, you're always there's some people that push to the limit.
Oh,
you're
yes.
like, come on, man.
Right.
But you're always very well reserved. And what I love about you too is that you've always, growing up and always wonder, like trying to base myself and my business and how I angled myself, like business isn't personal and all that. I've completely, took me a long time to get to that point. Because I remember the first handful of clients that I had, and I was always like, sir, per your request, per, and like using all this corpo lingo, and it just wasn't getting me anywhere. And I was using we's and us and that and this. I want to act like I had this team of 1 billion people.
Yes.
Now it's like, nah, man, it's me. And I use terms like amigo, friend.
Right.
I keep it real. But I think that there's a lot of validity and a lot of attraction when someone says, no, it's just I'm Cindy Dalecki. These are my children, and I don't got a babysitter right now. Right. So go play around. And these are and it's like now, when I first started the show, I was so apprehensive to doing it because I was like, I need a thing. I need a boot or to bomb. My dog, I was like, I have to hide everything. And now I'm like, I put the dogs away now because I have a lot of people like I don't know from nothing. And I'm like, God forbid.
The dog.
Yeah, my luck, right? They do so, I don't know, which they've never bit anybody. Yeah. But, so now it's a little bit, but this is my home.
Right.
So I said, you know what? The more personable and the more real I am, I feel like I've done it does better. And you have that. You've always had that. You're so like real.
Well, and I do want to say, bringing my boys to all the chamber events, bonus, they can speak to humans. They're not, like this, right? They have firm handshakes. They look you in the eye. We did a progressive dinner with the neighbors, I don't know, a couple of months ago.
What's that mean?
Oh,
I'm missing out.
You have to do this. So you
start, a new thing
you get at least 3 neighbors, houses, kind of walking distance, and the first house you can have cocktails and appetizers.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Second house, you have the main entree. And then third house, you have, desserts and, a nightcap or whatever. Right.
So, but it's all within walk. If we were
it's all walking or golf cart, range. Yeah. So we did that, just with our houses are triangles. Right. And brought the kids, and one family has a pool table, and, so it was really fun. Right. And the dad goes, who raised your boys? Like, they're really, I mean, I had a great conversations with them, and they're really intelligent. I was like, well, I was there. I don't know. I don't think you meant it, like, oh my God, it had to be someone else,
Right.
But I was like, yeah, I mean, Dave spent a lot of time with them, right?
Yep.
My husband, he passed away 2.5 years ago. And of course, biggest source of anxiety is the boys veering off track. My dad has said that as well. But wow, they've really, I don't want to, use the term loosely, but manned up, oh my goodness, they are empathetic, mature, just goal-oriented.
Yep.
Doesn't hurt that they both have girlfriends that are way out of their league. And I'll say that on camera, and I tell them all the time. I said, the words have come out of my mouth. You losers need to step up your game. I've said that to them.
From the mama's mouth.
That's right.
Yeah, but you know what?
And I'm kidding.
They're handsome boys.
They can do whatever they want.
These tall, dark, and handsome.
They are.
Women love the height.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
I always growing up, I was like, man, who doesn't want to be 6 something?
Right,
they're good looking
Dalton's
boys.
Girlfriend's real tall too.
Yeah.
She wants to be a dermatologist. She goes to UMass.
I think I've seen her in photos.
Yes.
Blonde?
Blonde.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, they make a cute couple.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on in the college world? Now, are they staying together?
No, so she lives in New York.
And it's already long term.
Yeah, they met through a mutual friend that Dalton goes to school with here. She came to visit.
So they already have it. It's not going to be the first.
No, they've been long distance.
Those usually don't work though.
Like year and a half.
When we know.
Yeah, but it's different than when you and I grew up because there's FaceTime. Yeah. There's they watch flights, for price discounts.
That's true.
And he visits, and he's living there for the summer, working for her dad's company.
Nice.
Yeah. So you never know.
It is a different time now. Sometimes I joke with myself, and I'm like, I wonder. I tell my wife Camille this. I'm like, I wonder what it would be like. What you would really have to the dating game in the digital environment now.
Right.
I have a lot of friends that are single, and I hear about this. Woo,
sure.
like,
so a lot of people said to me,
they wanted you?
like they're like, well, they're like, oh man, the dating game, stinks so bad, right? So I really wouldn't date anyone that I didn't think was a good person anyway, right? So ironically enough, I started a Christian singles group about a year ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, and not for dating, but because I have so many cool singles friends, right? Like I know them from my nonprofit world, from my work world, from this world, right? And I was like, like,
why don't we just
get
hang
together?
out?
We need to hang out. Right. So we've been doing an event every month and we've done different things. We did a potluck at my office during the holidays. I'm like talking with my hands. We've done beach barbecues, we've done the grind, we've done, Top Deck and Hard Rock, and stuff. And so it's been really fun. And I'm always scouting for new people. It's not on Facebook. It's not anywhere.
You kept this pretty chill.
It's very
that's
down
the way
low.
you got to be
you
about
have to
it,
know
I think.
me, or someone that is in the group, and you get personally invited in through me.
I like
so that's
this group.
Why, So when you go, everybody's like, I had such a good time, and everyone's so cool. And I go, well, yeah, because we invited them, right? So yeah, and it's been really fun. And I invited Joey Blumenfeld.
Okay, I've seen photos.
Yes, I know. Everybody is hilarious.
I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, people are so funny.
Well, everyone wants to know.
I know. Yeah, right. Yeah.
You went public with it.
They crack me up. Some people are very, like trying to ask me around, the bend. They're like, so, I've seen photos, and then other people are like, hey, are you dating a Blumenfeld? I mean, they're so funny, which is great because I know I love them and they love me.
They want to know. They care about you.
Yeah. So I invited him to one of my singles groups because I ran into him at the Tommy Tant, right? And I know his mom.
That's a Flagler Salt legend right there.
That's right. The Tant, yeah. And I know his mom and his brother, and I think we've been Facebook friends for like 7 years, and we have 50 friends in common. So we know a lot of the same people. And he came, to the December one, and we just started hanging out as friends. Yeah. Started as friends, and been dating now for 5 months.
Has it been 5? I got to tell you this. I've learned a lot from you over the years. Okay. And I want you to know something and I appreciate you being so open and candid and overall vulnerable.
Oh, I've been to a lot of therapy, like grief therapy. Well, I just facilitated a grief therapy 13-week course. So that helps tremendously to talk about it and move through it. You can't move around it. There's no shortcuts.
Well, for those that don't know, just on a quick, for those that don't know, Cindy, you lost your husband about 2 years ago. And that was I know the community came together as a whole, more so for me, what I saw digitally speaking, and I remember I sent you a nice little note and I let you know like anything I could do for you, et cetera. But my point is, I'm sitting back and I'm thinking to myself, no one knows what someone's going to do with those types of situations. And I would say, safe to say, majority of people in a very trying period, in a very trying season, take a talk, you're just like, you're a miracle. Like, I'm very proud of you. And now I would say, it's not saying that in a context, like, I'm proud of you, like you did it. Like, I'm learning from you that if something were to happen to me to that capacity, I would hope I had a quarter of your tenacity and your follow up and faith.
You have to have faith.
Yeah.
For people not to have faith and to go through something like I did, and that other, I don't know how you do it. Honestly,
I don't even know how you did it with your. I mean, like I said, I'm really, really proud of you. And like I said, even seeing what you guys have done with your family and even your business, like I was actually not afraid, but I was hoping, oh God. And that's why literally my note to you was like, listen, anything you need, like, I know, like you walk away from your phone for 10 minutes. It's like, where are you?
What? 20,000 emails? Yeah, I know. Right.
But you managed it and you did it. And not only are you not through it, but going through it, but you're like starting groups and you're, I don't know. I'm very fascinated by you, and very, and once again, the word proud is not the right word because I'm learning. So I admire you a lot, and And thank you for sharing that. That's just
absolutely.
once again,
Yeah, I'm good talking about it. People say, "Oh, I haven't seen you." I hope I don't, bring it up. But I go, well, it's not like I'm not thinking about it every day. Anyway, feel free, So, and I went through this 13-week grief share. It's a national organization. Anybody that's lost anybody close, I would highly recommend it. It's griefshare.org. You put in your zip code, and there's classes that go on all the time. There's some in Palm Coast, Flagler, Salty Church that I attend didn't do one at the time. So I went to another church, and there was maybe, 5 or 6 people in the class, and they were all older, and they'd been married, long time. And we were married 23 years, which is a long time as well.
And you're only 25. So that's
exactly right. Oh, and so it was great. I was like, 13 weeks, you gotta be kidding me. It was 2 hours every week, and there's a book, and there's videos, and there's, you talk about, things, when you're there. And then Salty Church in Ormond, got the program and said, hey, do you, and my friend Julie Gamon, do you want to be facilitators?
Nice.
And I was like, 13 weeks.
Right.
So I said, yes. But wow, it's been so
you're
fulfilling.
leading that group?
I did. Yeah. It just ended. We had a party and stuff.
So this goes without a lot. This is almost like, for those that do know, it's rather cliche, but like, it really, like, isn't it funny how your blessing lies in the midst of giving?
It does.
And like surrendering.
It does.
And I try to advocate for that with people that are even, and it's not a physical thing. It's not just a spiritual thing.
Right.
It's like all aspects to if you're sad, lost, hurt, whatever, in some type of despair, turn around for just a second, leave it there, and then look around for somebody that may need just that high five, that love. And all of a sudden, like, the dark got a little bit more lighter. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of, I've learned over my lifetime. And it's not just like, donate to the Red Cross, my car will be fixed. It's not that, but it's like, just give, like, be sincere and help those around you.
A cheerful giver, I think they say in the Bible. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
And I'm just like blown away that you are just chugging full steam ahead.
And someone, and they teach you in grief share not to measure grief, like if you lost a child versus someone lost a spouse or whatever, that's no one's, grief is more or less, right?
Interesting.
And, but we had probably 15 to 20 people every week in the class, in the grief share class, which was sad that many people are hurting, but great that they're there to get help. Right. And, I would have them, and you can do a poker pass. I say, if you don't want to say anything, you can give me the poker pass hand, but go around, tell us why you're here, and what you hope to get out of the class, your name, why you're here, and what you hope to do. And so most people would do that. A few people poker passed it, a couple times, which is fine. And, everybody, I think the most they got out of the group was learning about other people's struggles, right? I remember when, after Dave died, Tyler had a mission trip to Haiti scheduled. Yeah.
Okay. He had a mission trip scheduled.
He had a mission trip scheduled to Haiti. Wow. And there's nothing nice about Haiti.
Nope.
Right. And this was his second one, I believe. And I was like, what do I do? Right. Do I tell the poor kid that he can't go? Right. So he went, and one of the pastors, Derek, was going, and he was taking a couple of his kids, and that made me, feel better. Well, gosh, here he is in the malnutrition children's home, rocking. I mean, they're 2-year-olds, but they're this big because their growth is stunted, right? And feeding and rocking the babies, and just sweating and eating rice and beans and making concrete, out of a hole in the ground. And what a better way to look around and go, what happened to me is pretty crappy, but gosh, look where I am now, and it could be so much worse, right? So I think that trip really helped him. Yeah. And their girlfriends helped them a lot. I made them go to group therapy. Nice. I had a parent tell me, "Oh, my kids won't go." I go, "Oh, I'm not that mom. You're going. Let's go. Get in the car." Wow. I'm not a.
You're not idle. You don't.
No. I make them do stuff, and usually they have a good time doing it. Right. Whether it's a corn maze or something. Grief counseling. You're
blowing my mind right now. In a good way. I don't know. I mean, this is so important to people, and I think it's important that people start to. And shows like Joe Rogan, my little shows and things. I have people sometimes like, "So, what's your mission here? What's your monetization level?" And I'm like, "Dude, I have no idea. I don't even know what I'm doing." But all I know is that when stories and situations like this arise in the show, they literally right now, I'm like, you have no idea how much it means to me that you're sharing it with me. You're sharing it with people that, to have 15 people in those classes somewhat religiously, I mean, that shows you a lot of people are going through a lot of things. And it takes a special person to admit the fact that, hey, I can't, I'm hurt, I'm alone. And not necessarily literally, but even figuratively. And it's important to surround yourself by people and things. And that's why I'm doing this. Is that
I'm so glad you're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've learned so much. Like this is so much therapy for me.
Yeah. Nice.
Like after a show gets done, I'm just like, wow. And people that share, yes, the mission is to expose what it is you're working on, to show people how amazing you are. But there's always this silver lining of what makes a person a person. And I didn't know if you were going to even bring that up, but see how it just comes up.
I do to try to help people and let them know you can get through it. And grief, it's a crazy thing. You think you're going insane, right? So I have to credit my Marketing to Go team. They came to the house. They all brought their laptops. Okay, Cindy, tell us what you do, right? I couldn't barely answer the phone. There was a piece of paper and my phone. I remember all the girls were around the table. My phone rang. I picked up the piece of paper and I put it to my face to answer the piece of paper because your mind is like mush.
You're not.
One of the ladies in Grief Share said it's like trying to push a thought through a bowl of Jello. And I was like, ooh, really good analogy. And that's exactly what it is.
That's a very good one.
And everybody in there was like, oh, I thought I was going insane. I can't function, right? So and I did it twice. And Meredith looks at me. She goes, yeah, you'll be all right. So and they were fantastic. Salty Church was great. I did, have to worry about a meal for 4 months. Someone was coming and cutting my grass. I mean, it was amazing.
All the little things that you don't want or have to deal with, like with life. And that's what I was seeing unravel in a digital environment. Like I said, I kept my space because that's your business and I didn't want to, but what I saw, the response of people loving on you. And what do they say? The tribe raises a child, right? Something like that. It's that same, it reflects in even in adulthood. It's not just the kids, like you. And I think this episode, I hope, resonates with even more people that everyone's got to work. But when you're responsible for signing people's paychecks, it's even more of a bit of, and I'm not lessening the stress of the people's W-2s. Like I get it. I understand too. But when you've got people that are feeding their families on contingents of your business, that's tough.
And that was a big reason I really enjoy what I do, helping businesses, and creating a buzz about businesses. But also I've got, at least 1, 2, 3 of my girls that have kids at home. And they can work out of the house, and schedule around. Yeah. And so, gosh, that would have been cool to have, when my kids were, young as well. So yeah, I do, get a lot of joy and fulfillment out of knowing that I'm helping them make a living and spend time with their kids.
It's a two-way highway. It's very, very interesting. And it's past my pay grade because I don't have employees and stuff. And those people that I work with or I work amongst, like you, and I see it's got to be a very rewarding feeling, but of course a little bit more stressful.
Just a little bit. You're pressured all
because it's not just your spoon and fork. You're talking other people, and it's interesting. But I think you're doing. Once again, I'm no dictation of whether you're doing good or not. But my opinion of you is just absolutely blown away, and I hope that those that are listening, beyond just business, beyond like what you've gone through and what you're doing is just not, it's abnormal. It's extraordinary. And I'm really, I think, and it's amazing that, God's kind of got you in this position now where he's got you focusing on other people. And like you said, it's interesting when someone does say, just hearing the analogy of the Jello, it's good to be told things like that. Cause you go, hey, you know what? I'm not the only one.
That's right. I'm not going insane.
Tough. But,
and I think the overall concept is Jesus, take the wheel. When something happens, you put it in God's hands. Literally, Jesus, take the wheel, right? I can't handle this, and you shouldn't, because that's what he's there for, right? And just be open to receiving, receiving his love, receiving his forgiveness, his, patience, his abundance, just be open to receiving and looking for those signs. And so when I was asked to facilitate the Grief Share class at Salty, I was like, oh gosh, okay, God, you're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Yeah, you are. And I tell my boys that too. I said, boys, you don't know why you're here. You're finding your way. So keep your mind open for things like that, so yeah, they're real good.
I think it takes a very special person too. Lately, I don't know. So I've grown up always with a bit of guilt and conviction because my father is a pastor and has been a pastor the majority of my life, especially through my young childhood into my adulthood. And there's always this like expectation, I'm sure, like
you're going to be
gotta go. But I and sincerely, I haven't felt led. It's not my thing.
Sure.
But I've always felt this need of like, well, I still want to love and help and grow. And, and we know I have an obligation to feel like, I do feel like it's a very special thing to like talk about your God without speaking sometimes. Cause it's interesting that God, I was thinking about this the other day. God never speaks to you. He's the best listener around.
Right.
And granted, we can feel him, I believe in, but no one is literally, from what I understand, is audibly heard.
Right.
Like we can feel it, and we know you could feel a peace, and when there's something, the conviction,
you're supposed to be doing it.
But I came up with this like theory the other day, and I thought I was telling my wife, it's very interesting that God in general he's the best listener around, and I feel like if people started in general as a population, as us as a species, and that's where we're heading, I think, and that's what people are finding. Not only this little show exciting, but the Rogan shows and people listen to people. Listen to people and love on them. And I've noticed this has been happening to me a lot lately. Let's just say out of like a week, and let's say I've had like 5 phone calls. I've like prayed with almost every single one of them.
I love that.
It's interesting. And I get and I only do it when I feel like led. And I don't want to say like, I feel led. It's just something I could be on. This as well as I do. When you're dealing with people, individuals, and most of the companies that I'm working with, there's always like that guy, that point person. You have those bigger companies, but for the most part, dealing with that one person, the weight of the world is on them. And they share, it's like you end up becoming, you're not just talking how to get my business seen. They end up saying like, having a really bad day or, and you get to know these people.
Yes.
And sometimes in short chats, an hour and a half, I don't think I've ever had a meeting that lasts 30 minutes. So by the time it's been an hour and change, I'm like, hey man, because they've been so sincere and they've shared. I've lately more lately than ever been like, you mind if I like pray with you?
Yeah.
And it's been happening a lot.
I love it.
And it's unique. It's because the way I pray is just, there's nothing, I don't read something. The people can hear, because I'm addressing what it is that they share with me that, when people say like sending prayers.
Yes.
That's great, but I like to pray for specifically what it was.
Correct, me too.
Like if someone's like, "Hey man, we're going through a really hard time, XYZ," like whatever that X variable is, I speak to it.
Correct.
And we agree, and wherever 2 or more, and you can get past it.
Yes.
And I'm a big believer in that, but I think it's really sincere, and I'm really excited to know that you have no shame in sharing that.
Oh yeah, not at all. And, right. I don't want to get to the pearly gates and God's like, hey, remember that time in 2019 on August 2nd that you didn't, You
denounced
right,
me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no way, Jose.
So are you like, here we are, 2019. Do you have a rhythm right now? Does Cindy have like a good rhythm?
So after a tragedy strikes, you kind of have to find your mojo again, right? Like, I wasn't doing a lot with work because the girls were doing everything and they were like, oh my gosh, you were doing all this stuff. We can't believe. I said, I know. So you have to, slowly get back into that. And that helps a lot, getting back into work because it's occupying your mind and things like that. So yeah, I've got a really good, rhythm. We do travel. The Rotary International Convention is in Honolulu next year.
Shucks.
Yeah. So I have to bring the boys to that one. Geez. Right. I know. Darn. But just dove back into my nonprofits. Right. Rotary Flagler Beach. I was president of the club when Dave died. So Amanda Bailey took kind of on the role early, which is great. And then we're getting ready to induct Roy Seeger, the director of the Flagler Executive Airport. He's our next president.
Nice.
I know. It's so exciting. And we've got some great stuff going on with Rotary. We have, we only set giant goals in Rotary, curing polio and, whatever. So one we're doing now is teaching every kid in Flagler County to swim.
That's good.
Right? Every kid. It just, nobody needs to.
Like, we having a problem with that?
Yeah. 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 Really? Florida is really bad with drownings, right? Yeah. And I think I'm probably messing up the stats, but it's like nearly 80% of African-American kids don't know how to swim. It's like 60% of Hispanic and 40% of white kids or whatever. So we can't be, having that in our county.
A drowning issue?
Yeah. We have a drowning issue. Yeah.
Who would have thunk?
Even one kid is bad.
No, I understand. Yes.
Yeah. So we have and we need there's a carrot at the end of the stick for the kids that are learning to swim, and it's surf camp. In Flagler Beach throughout the summer across from Tortugas, and so we have certain dates online. If you go to flaglerbeachrotary.org, and we partner with Urban Surf for Kids, and it's most Friday mornings. We just need surfers for 2 hours. You don't have to surf if you've hurt your knee, had an injury. All we need you to do is time the waves and push the kids out into the waves, right? So we've got Spectrum News 13 coming out this Friday to do a story on the program, and you can see all the dates in there. But it's June 21st, 28th, July 12th, 19th, 26th. Friday, a couple days. Yeah, but most Fridays in July, beginning of August, right? So we just need volunteers. It's so fun. There's a drum circle and hula hoops for the kids rotating in and out of the water, and they're amazing. So yeah, that's one of the things Rotary is doing, and just the Flagler Beach community is so amazing. Was it Saturday night? Beachfront Grill. There was a. Did you see the video?
I did.
Okay, yeah.
Who hasn't?
I'm sure. I know exactly. It's like, I don't know, 20,000 or what was it? Views or whatever. 10,000 so far. But Sergeant David Sizzle, the owner of Beachfront Grill, on Facebook, and said, "Hey, my parents like to eat at your restaurant. I'm coming home early from Iraq. I want to surprise them." And so we didn't have like exact dates and all this stuff. So it was so fantastic. And so Jamie, you know him, 8 feet tall,
really short,
right? 8 feet tall, former state trooper, whatever. He has to walk away from when her son comes in, when David comes in, and the mom is like, "Ah."
Yes. He
walks away, does not look at the mom. He comes over to me a few minutes later. His eyes are all red and watery. And I think every big guy, I recorded the video. And so I look over, and this guy, huge guns, tattoos, shaved head. He's reaching for a napkin to tissue his eyes too, so everyone in the place was not a dry eye. It was amazing. So it was on the news last night. It was on Channel 2 News. Claire Metz, had a little story. Yeah. So it was fantastic. So that's great. And then the restaurant just donated, I think, $5,000 to the Flagler Beach Fire Department and the, Flagler County Fire Department. So that was wonderful. So we have so many cool things going on in town. Yeah. They're very,
he just had an awesome review come in too.
Oh, good.
In addition to all this amazing stuff, someone on, I guess there was like some kind of accident or something happened on A1A.
Oh yes,
and
the construction.
Instead of coming out and like yelling, because I guess it was like blocked
right
off
there.
He came out and like fed all the people, and he's
the construction crew wrote something really nice too.
Yeah, that was
doing.
One of those guys left an amazing review.
I love that.
I'm really proud of him. I don't get to hug him as much as I would like to, but of course he's Southside.
Yeah, he's south side. You're north side.
That's so far.
So far.
But no,
I came from south side to be here.
I know. We're on high alert right now. Actually, the neighborhoods. We got a south sider here. But I've not heard one thing about him or his place that isn't uplifting and what he's doing. And he's another one of those guys that's just like growing. The literal
and made something of that building. How many restaurants it's been, right? It's at the original.
It was everything. It was a strip club back in the day.
That's right. Yeah,
I remember I was working there. I was doing it. No, I'm just kidding. But it was a strip club for a minute. But it was really off the beaten path for a hot minute. Like nobody.
I know, and unfortunately, I still say, people. Claire Metz says, "Where is it?" I go, "Well, where Snack Texas." I go, "Oh, this is the former strip club." She's, "Oh, I know where that is."
Yep. It is like you're just there. You're kissing right at the end. Is it technically Ormond? No, I don't think so. It's right. It's before the water tower.
It is. Before Snack.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's what he's got going on there. But you're right. Like there is I tell when I travel and stuff, and someone's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I'm an interneter." And if it's like a really high volume city, and like it's like I was just somewhere, and it was like the marketing companies out there are like the big boys, and I'm like, I would never probably be able to make a buck here. But here it's like we can make a living because I believe not only in our beliefs and working hard and persevering, but it's like we don't have to do like $10,000 in marketing ourselves on mediums to stand out amongst the billions of other people. And this town, I think, is a major byproduct of my little success of being able to provide for my family and because of word of mouth factor.
Correct.
And I think you have that, and there's a lot of people that you see that little post on Swip Swap, like looking for a whatever, painter or this, and like
Facebook Marketplace,
like you
next door,
you can't buy that, know. But it's very exciting. So I'm glad to know that's what I'm always trying to. It's like find that rhythm, like a good
Mhm.
rhythm what's your wake up time?
So I'm more of a night owl. I'm like a midnight-ish, girl, but
Are you in bed at midnight-ish and then go to like you're tossing
when
and turning until like on
no,
the
I do
are you
not.
out
I
like a
am
light
out.
egg?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
work so hard. When
Are
people
you
tell
laptop
me,
in bed, lady?
I haven't been,
That's good.
yeah.
It's tough
People
to break
tell
that,
me
though.
when people tell me they have trouble sleeping. I go, well, you're not working hard enough. I'm going to send you some stuff to do, and then you can
Come
work
work with me
hard.
today.
I know,
I'll tire you
exactly.
out.
So when I hit the bed,
So you're like a
boom.
midnight-ish?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then the dogs, the puppies,
Mhm.
are up at least by 7.
You got bed dogs.
7:30. I do. Oh
I
my
made
gosh,
that big mistake.
I know, but I created them in the beginning, but then
know.
they were so cute.
That's it.
Now I
You're
was
cooked.
crying, and
We
so
travel
Shock
and
is
we're
like
like queen
here.
bed? Can't
do it.
need a
No.
monster. Yep.
So I have like this much to put my legs through because one's here and one's here.
You're fine with the hair now?
They're short haired, so
Yeah,
they're
it's everywhere.
okay. They're not
You
too bad.
You ever see when like the sun's coming in from the window?
Unfortunately,
and
but I think it's the cat too. We have one
Yeah,
cat.
yeah.
Yeah. So I do have to sweep the steps like every other day or vacuum them. I know.
But anyway, so wait, so what you say 7-ish?
Yeah, and it depends. Like Rotaries tomorrow morning, so it starts at 8. I'm the guest speaker.
So
for
if you
Rotary
have an
tomorrow.
obligation at 8, are you like I need an hour or two, or are you like, can you?
Oh no,
you make a move?
I need time because I have to walk the dogs. Like I usually
got things to do.
Yeah.
Are you a coffee for
No?
Really?
Dave, my husband used to say, "Do not give her coffee."
You don't even need it.
No.
You're just going on life.
Yeah.
Are you eating something in the morning? Are you like
Yeah.
this is
avocado and
Oh.
a banana or like toast?
Okay.
Real butter.
So now you're on. So
Blueberries.
Are you a lunch person?
Yes, I don't miss a meal.
You're
My
like
boyfriend said to me, "You eat more than I do because I don't know where you put it."
Most people that are in great shape eat a lot.
I do.
That's like the missing link is you
eat.
My brain goes like, I'm looking fluffy. I'm not going to eat today. It's like you keep your metabolism.
You gotta.
So you're like religious lunch too.
Oh yeah.
You
and
leave the office for?
I gotta let the dogs out. If the kids aren't home, I have to go home to let the dogs out. Which my office is 10 minutes from the house. It's not bad. Yeah. Right.
So you like eat lunch home, let the dogs out.
Yeah, and I do like a tomato, blueberry, lettuce, tuna, celery, yummy.
Are you meal prepping or are you making it then?
I made it then. Yeah, it just takes a few minutes because stuff the blueberries in, cut the tomato, avocado.
Do you shut off? Or are you still like, are you that? Or do you give yourself like, all right,
I won't have this
for
at
10
lunch,
minutes?
really.
Oh, that's
typically,
nice.
yeah. I'll leave it in the other room or whatever, and then I just.
Do you shut off? Can you shut off at night?
Yeah, this is not
Really?
next to me. My phone is not next to me.
That, you bum.
Forever.
For real? For real?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at that.
That's probably why I sleep so good.
Yeah, it's true.
Because there's no ding.
I used to have this rule. Well, I had a rule forever since Camille and I have been together. I don't like TVs in a bedroom.
Right.
That was something that I don't know where I got it from, but I just felt like it was healthy. It was good. And you didn't just like have this mindless burp. I felt like it was important to either exchange. And I'm not trying to sound like Gandhi over here, but like, that's just what I got my other vices.
100% agree.
But I didn't have a TV in the bedroom. And then I used to have this rule. There was no like Facebooking in the bed.
Okay.
No electronic devices.
Right.
She picks on me because now I'm always on it now.
You're so funny. I don't have TV. I don't have cable or anything. No.
But I mean,
the boys will watch YouTube or Netflix.
We can you can be entertained.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have. I don't do that. I don't think it's. Well, everyone's got their vice. They do,
and I think that's fine. But in my life, it's a waste of time.
Well, I'm interneting in bed, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I gotta break it. It sucks, and I hate it. And she's picking on me. It used to be her. And by that time, there's nothing really proactive. Now, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, if I'm scrolling and I do see something like looking for a web dude, and I'm like, yeah, and I'll send. But like for the most part, let's be real. 99% of it is just I'm wasting, my time.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about if you're
videos.
If you're listening, yeah.
I do like myself a good cat video.
But no, it seems like you got a good healthy balance. Are you a family dinner thing or the kids? Yeah, that's big too.
And I. When the kids are all in town, I'm like, okay, who wants to come over? I'm texting the boys' friends or Snapchatting. Hey, I just texted one of them this morning and I said taco bar tonight or tomorrow night.
Ooh.
And so Tyler and his girlfriend, are at our house.
What time's dinner?
7:30,
Okay.
like 7-ish. It's
that's like
later.
A European dinner-ish
it is,
time.
yeah.
I like that.
But they're all old, they're in their teens, so they're not going to eat it 5 p.m. Like some
Or
other
get
people.
snack at
I know.
6.
Right. Exactly.
So and are you the cooker? Are you
am.
Are the kids picking up?
Well, Dave did all the cooking. So for sure we thought we were going to starve, after Dave died. So I took up cooking, and it was funny because we had an extra teenager living with us for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And Dalton said something about, Mom, this dinner is so good. And he goes, when is it not good? Like he didn't know because he didn't know Dave, right? And I was like, oh, thanks, Right. So yeah, so we do meatloaf, and the funniest, of course, in my mind ever is at Halloween in October, I made feet loaf.
Feet loaf? Is it look like a foot?
Yeah, it was 2 meatloaf patties, and they were in the shape of feet. Onions were the toenails, okay, and there was little, and the blood, the ketchup was the blood, around the ankle where they got cut off. I was so excited when they came home. I was like, I have dinner ready. You guys gonna come up and see what it is? They're like, what? Why? And I took off the, aluminum foil, and they were like, and I'm crying in the kitchen. I'm laughing so hard. They're like, never do that again,
Come on, Ma. We got to eat these feet now.
And it was my nephew's birthday the other week, and I made a birthday cake in the shape of meatloaf with bacon layered in there and ketchup on a candle.
So you're getting your.
Yeah, I'm gonna make beef bourguignon this week because we had it in London. It was amazing, So
I like it.
Mm-hmm. It's YouTube. It's Google. You just figure out what you.
Well, it's funny. I more and more that we see, I find it so fascinating. So I belong to all these like random odd and end YouTube channels that are, most of them are just like inspirational people that don't even have a lot of following, but the substance matter is just so real.
Okay, nice.
And I just recently saw this guy started this YouTube channel. He was a musician, but he had enough money to where he like totally decked out the inside of this van. And it was in the UK actually. So he's like a year or so into this like traveling, and he's got a recording studio in his van, but he did it under the pretense of him making music, and he wasn't getting anywhere. Mm-hmm. And just the golden rule, he started going, you can't not see someone playing music at some of these bigger cities.
Yes.
And the talent is amazing. He started inviting some of these musicians
into his van
to do an album because he was a sound engineer.
Okay.
Now he would have, and he literally, I think after like the 3rd or 4th person, his channel morphed into this helping people that were on the streets. Mm-hmm. Put an album together, and one of his miracle stories, where it's like an Ellen DeGeneres kind of thing. Okay. Had this guy come on, older guy, had been disconnected from his family for forever. Mm-hmm. The album went like blockbuster over in the UK. Yeah. He reconnected with his family, made a couple bucks, and now his channel is all under the pretense of just getting this talent scene.
I love it.
But that goes on what I'm saying with this whole like YouTube and just getting your content seen. Mm-hmm. That's why I started this. I've had haters and trolls who are like, bro, you're not even breaking like 5,000 views. Bro. And I'm like, I know, I totally understand. Like, but I'm also not charging people to come on the show. I'm also not making any. I'm doing it because I enjoy it, and it's more for me.
You're getting
and
something
if it's
out of it
like
too.
you said earlier, if it's one kid that drowns, it's horrible. We don't need a statistic that's scarier than one. And just with me, if there's one person today, it was me, so I don't care. If there's one person that today's story or whatever touched them to some capacity, you got it. You got that's exactly what it's all about. But this is very interesting. And I didn't know any of that, like your backstory and this. Yep. So where are we going? Like, what's do you worry at all with this tech thing? Are you ever? Because I mean, I do. I'm asking that because I was talking to a guy yesterday. By the way, he was unbelievable. I had a dude on that lives in Ormond. Okay. And he invented this augmented reality marketing piece, which I can't wait to show you later.
Yeah.
But point is, I tell him sometimes like, it's interesting being in the digital environment because like we don't have here, I made this for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've always,
there's no product. Yeah.
it's just all intangible and what do you feel about the future? Are you optimistic? And not just a fiscal thing. Like are we going to be around in the next 5-10 years?
Yes, I think we're definitely going to be around. I think it's going to change like it has been. People say to me all the time, how do you keep up with everything? And it's a lot of podcasts, it's a lot of, videos. It's a lot of different things like that. But it's going to morph. I think it's going to morph even faster than it has the past 5 years, So I think it's going to be interesting to see all the changes, but I don't worry about it.
You don't worry?
Okay. Just keeping on the schedule, and I don't want to say ahead of technology because I think that's impossible, but just trying to stay relevant, right? Like we all are, and just keep.
Well, it's good that you have your kids too, because I'm now being 35. I know that like I'm already starting to lose a little bit of like what really is hip and cool in this. So just like the guy I had on yesterday, his son is involved in the company. He's 20.
Okay.
Like, well, you're lucky. Like you know what I mean? Like if what you're doing is kind of stupid, they're gonna say like, Dad, we're not using that anymore.
Right.
And we've noticed it's been this a couple of years now, but like how Facebook has evolved to like our generation-ish, which that's obvious now, but like.
Which I think that's great for marketers because we're the ones that have the disposable income to buy stuff.
You know, and you know what's interesting? I remember probably a handful of years ago, it was like maybe 2-3 years ago when it first started to happen. And people were like, Facebook is dumb. It's not. I'm talking about from the younger generation.
Yeah.
But and I remember getting word. I'm like, damn, no one's gonna be using it anymore. And it's a large medium for me to stay in the face of people. Now I think it's even better because now the people that are on, for the most part, are like market,
correct,
so to speak. It isn't people that are like, look at my, I don't know. Like it's not a dating world anymore really on Facebook. It's more of what people are doing and what, and I don't know about you, but it helps me with getting in touch with people I would have never known.
Oh yeah. Well, look at the soldier,
yeah.
David that messaged Jamie at Beachfront Grill from Iraq.
That's how it happened?
Yes.
Okay.
He messaged,
didn't know that.
From Iraq and said, hey, I'm in Iraq. I'm coming home early.
Do you ask people when I've noticed lately when I'm traveling and like you get the whole like, let's connect. Like, let's connect. What I'll do recently is I'll literally be like, give me your phone. And I say, you have Facebook? And almost everyone saes yes. I find myself right away. Perfect, and I've been doing that. And that way I know like, I'll get in touch with you now. I get the friend request.
Right.
Do you do a lot of the... by the way, I've had requested you in the very, very beginning. It took forever for you to accept me.
Really?
It was so sad. But you didn't really know me. That's just a little cute story. I know. And especially after Dave died, I get weird you're
friend
getting
requests.
Right.
Yeah. Like
I don't
weird
blame
guys.
you.
Like I've got a friend request probably 5 or 10 times from a guy that with the same profile picture with like 10 different names.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think they're looking for quote unquote lonely women, widows and whatever, So I know.
Well, I know I ask a lot of the guests that I have that are women on the show, and I say like, I can only imagine what you on that side of the weirdos. Because there are some
weirdos, man. Yeah.
I saw some funny, these like little mini things that go viral, and it was like a 30-second clip of this guy making fun of dudes that wave to women on like the wave. So he's like ranting. He's like, listen, you dudes out there that are sending the wave to the women online, like, and it's like 10 of them.
Yeah.
I have to say for all you women out there that actually do screenshot it and share it.
It's so funny.
I love that.
I know. I've screenshotted this guy and I was waiting for him to friend me under a different name and then I was going to post them all up,
I think, there's a lot, like if it's genuine and someone's just like, hey, I ran it, if it's genuine. Like I saw you at a restaurant the other day.
You have like at least 10, 25, 50 friends in common, right?
You get the no mutual friends.
Yeah.
And the weird, and you love you get the friend request and you go to the page and it's like one photo.
Right.
A shot of the beach and like a random dog or something. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they're usually holding a baby or they're in some sort of medical
that's
scrub.
how the dudes are repping it.
Yeah, that's how they're repping it in a medical scrub. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm a doctor nothing.
Right, exactly.
I see.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I find it very fascinating when I hear my friends that are women that are single and they share with me this approach. So
well, that's why I thought my Christian singles group would be so cool because it's not weird internet dating, right? It's
real.
Like someone you have
I would imagine you got a decent.
I have 80 people on my email list.
That speaks for itself right there.
Yeah, 80 people. Wow. It's so cool. So some of them, are like, oh, I'm courting someone. I can't go, which is adorable, right? But yeah, and it's all ages,
Is it like just 18 up and it's like a...
Yeah, we don't get any 18-year-olds, but, I would say like 30s to 60s, maybe 70, but they're young. 70.
So you guys are always meeting at different...
Exactly.
You just kind of pick something out of your hat.
Yep. We did the hammock, wine, and cheese.
Okay, nice.
And we've done, Ormond. So our next venue would be Daytona. I was thinking, Top Gun or something might be fun. They have a bar there, a restaurant. It's the shooting place. Yeah, range. I'm not, but I think it would be cool, right?
You're just trying to diversify.
Yeah, we're trying to diversify, but I don't know. One of the guys doesn't think that's a great idea. So it's going to be somewhere in Daytona. We did one Daytona, the game room, and that was super fun.
Is it amazing?
Oh, it's really fun. Yeah. So that might be, a night or something. So yeah.
Do you hear about this guitar thing they got going on? I guess the Hard Rock, it's going to be the first ever world's guitar shaped hotel. Have you heard
Very
about
cool.
that?
I saw
Yeah.
one of them being built on the way to Miami when we were driving out.
Where it's going to be though.
Okay.
I think it is. Could it be Daytona? I don't know. Somewhere in Florida.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Maybe. I think it was in Orlando.
Amazing, but it's maybe
really
Orlando.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
I try to stay away from Orlando.
I know. The traffic is
insane.
Do
you have to go there much?
Well, when we went to London, we flew out of Miami. So that was terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because the 4-hour drive.
Yeah, but it was a direct flight?
It was.
That's worth it.
It was worth it.
You save, do the 4 or 5 hour drive. But
correct.
You got the.
Yes, it was definitely worth it.
Are you a good flyer, or did you do what is it, 9 hours? 10 hours?
I took a Benadryl and went night.
Do you try to push it where you like shave off an hour or two and then Benadryl, or were you Benadryl?
No, I'm in line, getting on the plane, right?
You're
and my friend Sharon and I, took one, and she's yawning while we're waiting to get on the plane. She's like, I don't know why I'm so tired. I go, I don't know either, because you just took that Benadryl. Yeah. Are you supposed to take more than one?
No,
that sounds like a lot.
When I would sometimes fly, I was getting so annoyed that I would do 2 NyQuils.
Oh, okay.
And I would be, but the only problem with that, like, once you're in the next airport, you're kind of like, I don't even want to get out of this. But yeah, I have to do the missus is holding me more and more accountable to not taking things that have things that die.
Correct.
So, but nothing works. Like I had for the first time in a while, I had to pop 2 Advil, and sometimes you just hit that point where. Do you deal with anything like headaches or anything crazy?
I don't know, but
awesome.
I worked in the not so. There's all different things you go through when you lose someone. Like, you have to do all the stuff, right? So I pressure cleaned the entire back deck the other day, right? And it was funny because Dalton screenshotted a memory, on Facebook, and it was him coming home videotaping me. I'm in the driveway pressure cleaning, and I have like the Morton salt guy, yellow rain slicker on, and here, right. So it was 1 year ago. So I was doing it again, right, getting the mold off of everything, and so I did that, and then I mowed because like Tyler and Mary are in Colorado, and Dalton's in New York, and like who else is gonna mow, right? So I mowed, I edged, I weed whacked, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Like I've done something back here.
That 25-year-old back is
that's right.
Getting you.
Exactly. I'm getting old now. Right. So yes, I have to take it for things like that.
You stay busy, but doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Mm-hmm. Do you have like do you have a secret workout routine to stay so?
I worked out solid for a year at Gold's, Pilates, yoga. I do keep doing stretching, and doing that, but I walk at least 3 times a day. Those dang puppies, right? Yes. So that's a really good exercise routine. Yeah, I'm a walker.
Exactly. I learned to walk. Listen to me. I learned to walk. I implemented walking in my routine about, I would say, less than 10, more than 5 years ago by meeting Adam at Flagler Chiropractic.
Yes.
And he's very holistic, very into, and I was always like, oh, my back or this. And he's like, bro, what do you do? I'm like, well, you listen, I run. And it's like, it's not just, it can't be high impact all the time. So for the last handful of years, I do that walk. Yeah. That old man foot. We've been walking from here.
You walk the dogs?
No.
Oh.
My dogs are, Camille still has hope that they're going to become people. People, they're fine with people.
Yes.
I rescued both of them.
Okay.
One of them is just, he thinks he is Godzilla.
Oh,
but if he sees his own shadow, he's out.
That's mine. That's Shaka.
But when someone walks by, or if we're you would think he's gonna kill you. Yeah, I know. And I can't. No matter what I do, and of course
it's embarrassing. Like my hound dogs the bark is so like he's just a puppy. He's not gonna hurt you.
Come over.
Yeah, put your hand in there. Yeah.
Of course, and I know people are like, I've had people over the years are like, it starts with you. Like you have to. Oh
no, I have 2 or 3 dog trainers.
Man. I rescued this dog. He was about 7 months old, and you could tell he had probably gotten beat because when I used to have a piece of paper, or like he would hear a paper crumpling, he'd like freak out, and I didn't know like his backstory. But anyways, I can't walk. She used to, but now it's like they're way bigger than her, and they're just if they did ever see anything, I'd be more afraid of A1A. That's the only thing I'm afraid of. Like, God forbid.
Mine got out the other night and ran down John Anderson like it was the dog track. Oh my gosh.
God bless, he made it out. That's the only because they're not smart enough to know. They would just dart.
Yes.
And God forbid, and I couldn't.
I know. Yeah. Maui's almost committed suicide twice by truck. over there.
I don't mean to laugh.
No, I know. Oh my gosh, it was terrible.
But the walk is we've been doing it from here to Oceanside.
Oh wow!
And if we're feeling frisky enough, back.
Crazy.
We're not like.
What do you mean? How do you get home normally?
Really do like walk. It depends on how. So if we're misbehaving, we'll like earn our drink.
Okay.
So we'll walk there, get there. It depends who's there.
Okay.
What are we doing? If it turns into some debauchery, then we're like, hey man, you headed north? Or we'll just, shave off a couple blocks, see someone. It's almost inevitable we find somebody.
I love it. I love it so much.
Or worst case, like if it's raining or something,
yes.
Uber.
Yeah, Uber.
It's funny. Sometimes Uber's like, you're going there. And we're like, yeah.
Okay, it's close enough.
No, it's good for here. Good for here.
And that's nice about having a small town like Flagler Beach that you can do that, right?
It's not that far either.
No.
Sometimes you tell people, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, walking to Oceanside. And they're like, it was funny because that's why Carla Klein made me a shirt that says advertise here. She's like, you're always outside. And I said one day, and I said jokingly, she actually came up, I think Camille came up. She's like, she wear a shirt that says advertise here. And I love her. She made me this cute little.
That's so adorable.
She's got an event coming up. She was supposed to come on the show on Friday, but she's got so much going on. She has she's releasing some her clothing line, I think, on Saturday.
Exciting.
So I have my second kid show on Friday.
Oh my goodness.
I get more. I always have a little butterflies before every show because I'm excited.
Sure.
I get more anxious with the kids because I'm like, this is gonna be I'm just so it's Susie Johnson's kid is coming on Friday.
I love it.
Sydney.
Okay.
These kids are superstars these days.
These kids are unbelievable. When people say, I don't know about this next generation, I don't know. You haven't met some of the kids that I've met through Rotary. Like we've got 4 of them speak next week.
Nice.
There's a Rotary Youth Leadership Conference that they just got back from that they're going to tell us all about. Some of these exchange students, that go to different countries through Rotary and come back and come here and live. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. And I did want to mention that the Rotary is having their 4th of July fabulous 4th parade again.
Okay.
And it's free for any business to put a float in, a truck, a boat, whatever you want to tow, You can't throw candy because we don't want the kids running in the street, but you could walk and hand candy or tchotchkes or whatever out, right? And I used to throw, and I can't do with a rower anymore. Yeah. But it's so fun. You go on to FlaglerBeachRotary.org.
The 4th is on a Thursday this year.
That's right. So you got to take 2 days off. They're saying Friday.
I like
nothing wrong with that. Actually, 4 days because Saturday and Sunday.
So
hopefully most businesses will do that.
Is the parade on the 3rd?
It's on the 4th. It's always on the 4th.
Wow, it's going to be
Doesn't
on
matter.
that day.
10 a.m.
I'm really bad for when you're the next. Is it the 4th is always changing? It
always changes. Yeah, I think it was Wednesday last year. It might be Friday next year.
I guess this is a good one if you guys can get if you're able to take off that Friday.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice
take off Thursday and Friday. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Take it off, people. So yeah, we were contemplating. It's so funny, growing up here, the words already like, what are you doing for the 4th?
Oh, yes.
Do you have some? My 4th of July's used to be, we all met up, got together. Someone had the big cooler. This is nothing new under the sun. I'm sure everyone did. Had the big cooler, threw all the fruit, tons of liquor, and then you had the hunch punch.
Right?
Parked the car somewhere in Flagler in a local so
refreshing,
spot,
that watermelon.
And that was our 4th of July. It's changed obviously over the last few years. This adulting thing, Cindy. It's adulting thing.
We have responsibilities and whatnot,
So I don't even have concrete plans yet for the 4th. Are you doing the thing?
I MC the parade.
You're gonna do this one too?
Years. I'm going to do this one. And Eddie Herrera from Alliance Financial is going to co-MC with me. Oh, we can get Eddie on the show. He'd be perfect on here.
I know.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that he'd been a resident since the early 80s,
yeah,
late 70s.
His dad was a soccer coach here, Coach Herrera.
I met his wife the other day at a haircut place, and I didn't even know it was his wife. We were just having this conversation, and she engaged, and she was getting her haircut by someone, but she's such a sweetheart.
Yes.
So one thing was, I was like, "Hi, I'm Chenzo," and she's like, I forget her name. Sorry,
Delilah.
Beautiful name. And she said Herrera, I think, and I was like, "Wait a minute." I was like, "So, is your husband?" And she says, I know of him. I see all of his stuff online. Like, could you tell him that I admire him? She's like, 100%. I was like, can you get him on my show?
I love it.
So, yeah, you help.
Absolutely. It's such a small world, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I was at the track yesterday, the Speedway for United Way board retreat.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the photos.
And and I'm chatting with this kid, I'll call him a kid because he's probably, I don't know, 20 something. And he goes, well, my dad, he's like the assistant superintendent or Flagler Schools or something. I slammed my hands on the table because I looked at his name tag. I said, your dad's Earl Johnson, you know?
Wow.
And he goes, yeah. And it was so, just, great, kid really getting involved in the community with
He's
United
only 20
Way.
some odd?
I would say he's 20 something. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, it was fantastic. And again, back to the small world thing, that we were talking about earlier. You run into somebody everywhere.
So that will be, what time's the parade start, by the way?
10 a.m.
10.
Yep. Okay. Thursday. And then, festivities ensue, right?
Don't we have fireworks or something like that?
Fireworks that night. Lots of fireworks, Santorian sun, right off the pier.
Last couple of years, they've been...
They're so good.
Pretty proud of our little fireworks.
I know. I think they're the best ones.
That's one of our few claims.
Our signature.
Our 4th of July.
It is. Yeah.
When we were just in like the St. Pete area and then the Lake Worth area and all that, you actually can say Flagler Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they know.
Most time people are like, where are you from? And I'm like, 20 minutes north of Daytona.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, where? I'm like, Flagler Beach. Like, yeah, we know. And I'm like, what?
Cool.
So we're kind of getting...
get a little name for ourselves.
We're in the loop now.
I love it.
Cool.
We are cool. Yeah, people know us.
Look, we did it. Did we do...
I think we did it. I was just going to talk about road construction a little bit on Flagler Beach.
road construction.
So it's scheduled to be done early 2020. It's $22.4 million project, and it's about 1.5 miles of road construction. So just be patient.
We have another one coming.
After this one, after 2020?
We had this
like
one.
This year long.
Okay. This one's about done.
Okay.
And then this is the next big one.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the whole project cost, the $22 million. But yeah, just be patient.
There's a lot of crazy juju going on with this right now.
Yeah. So it looks cool.
Yeah. Well, not beyond that. They had this like little group starting to form. And I went to one of their meetings where they want the business owners to get more. There's a lot of controversy about it.
Yeah. They
want the business owners to be more involved, to bring more. I think it's coming from the chamber. I'm not sure. But anyways, I missed the last meeting, and I was reading the thread on the post, and there's some grumpy people out there.
What are they grumpy about?
I don't know.
The construction itself?
It seems that, and I'm just delivering the facts here, people. So
I'll have to look online.
But I guess there's a disconnect from the chamber. The chamber wants the business owners to get more involved because the businesses are upset and complaining that there's not enough
marketing,
awareness
like we're
of the
still
fact
open.
that A1A, we're open, but A1A's,
et
cetera.
Right.
So they're hoping and relying on the municipalities of some capacity. Then the chamber is upset because the chamber has thrown some of these meetings, which I've attended one, and it was nice. Like the powers that be are there. They're looking for they're looking to listen to their concerns and then also address like what could we do to get this message out. Well, I guess they're upset that these people aren't showing, like they're not getting the response.
Are not coming?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well,
we had one in my office at Ripple in the very beginning. Yeah.
Okay. So I missed the last one. I think they've had 3 or 4. I missed the last one. I was out of town, and I messaged. There was a really nice lady who's like keeping everyone in the know.
Okay, good.
So I felt it was just nice to say like, thank you so much. Keep me in the loop, but I can't make this one. Yeah. And then they posted it on Facebook, and I think the header was a little bit type of if you want to say, it kind of was like a little aggregate. I guess, you know what I mean? It was just kind of like get involved. Like you should get in. Like you're not. Where are you, so to speak? I don't want to. So. And these business owners and past business owners are just like. They're grumpy.
Right.
They're mad.
And the construction is not that bad for the people watching this podcast. It's one way all the way down, one way going north. And if you want to go south, you just go 1 block in and, you go south and you just obey the speed limit, 25 miles an hour, but it's not a bad ride going north, 25 miles an hour staring at the ocean. There's paddleboarders out there this morning. It was beautiful out.
But if you are listening and you haven't been to Flagler for a hot minute, it is a big, don't do us any favors, but come out. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we talked about Beachfront Grill, right? Flagler Fish Company bought that whole building. They're going to have a banquet room and the whole deal. I know, it's so cool. So you've got so many great restaurants down here. I'll
tell you what, if Oceanside had what they had going on now 6 years ago, I would have gotten married there.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
It's funny because like who doesn't grow up in a small town and be like, I want to live here, blah, 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 blah. Like, but looking back, like if they would have had that deck and that little banquet area on the ocean.
Well, look at Tortugas too. I mean, they have done a ton for our swim camp, just donating food. Yeah,
that's another one. I'm kind of like, come on, let's go. But I know people are busy, and a lot of people are actually very apprehensive to come sit.
Are they?
You would be. I guess you wouldn't be surprised, but I was surprised with the amount of people because I don't reach out to. I'm trying to. Everyone, first of all, is welcome because there's no format to the show.
Got it.
Second of all, those people that I have reached out to, most of them are like, hell no. Not in a bad way. They're just like, no way. Okay. They're like, I've had people actually, which I guess is inadvertently like a compliment. They're like, well, where's the script? Like, what do you really, like, how do you guys like rehearse this? Yeah. I'm like, listen, man, I have no idea. And I guess people are getting mad now if I say like, I don't know what I'm doing. Cause they're like, you know exactly what you're doing. But I really don't know. Like we go live. Like yesterday I told Camille, I said, thank God from the grace of God, I was running late to the show.
Okay.
My meeting went as usual way too long.
Of course.
And my fault too. It wasn't even and get to the house and he's already here. I never met him for nothing. And I try to let people, like today, I want you to come in and feel comfortable and there's music and there's the coffee and you go potty. And I don't want so I come in and my insides I was frantic.
Because you were late? Is that why you were worried? Okay.
I was late and I didn't have anything set up.
Oh, okay.
So
how was he? Was he cool?
So cool.
Okay, good.
But I feel like I was through the whole process, I was keeping my cool.
Good.
Like I wasn't like, freaking out. And it's not much. You see what it is. But like I had my laptop with me. I had a connected thing. But I made him comfortable. And it's funny, you like my little, like, what do you want to drink?
Yeah.
Almost everyone says he wanted a little Tito's and a little this. So I had that for him.
I love it.
You like that?
I'm the 10-minute girl. So I will text you and say, I'll be there in 10 minutes, and my girls know that it's just a 10-minute thing. I don't know. Well, but I let you know that not you today, because I was relatively on time.
I put it on
but
you. I have that because of my dogs.
Yes.
Like if someone comes over unannounced.
Me too.
Sometimes I look them in the glass and I'm like, what do you want me to do? I told, they're like, they're like,
well, I've sold a couple things on Facebook Marketplace, like a shed and a 21-foot extension ladder. Like, when am I going to use that? Right? I shouldn't be using that.
Right.
And I always say, message me when you get here because my dogs are insane.
Some people get annoyed with it because I do it even to my friends still. And I'm like, listen, you can't just, the dogs are going to go nuts. And it takes me forever to get them locked up at that point because now they know
somebody's going over.
But no, it's been interesting. And it was, I hope, did you dig it? Was it?
I like the whole vibe. Yeah.
Congratulations. Like I said, I really appreciate you come in and by the way, do me a favor too. Yes. Anyone that just has something, a mission, like something about them. It's not always just a business too.
Yeah.
You're like, you should go on that.
Yes.
I've had people who come on I had a guy named Paul. That was the title. He didn't tell me his last name. He's like a nomad.
Okay.
Travels the world. He was literally getting ready to leave for the UK.
Okay.
Was a referral from Carla Klein. She goes, I have a guy who's coming on your show. And I didn't ask any questions.
Okay.
I was like, okay. Comes on the show, titled Guy Named Paul. I sat back and once again, for my own purposes, I was like, his story was
I love it.
So anybody that you think would be able to
have a good story. Mm-hmm.
But did we do what else we got? We are
I think we got everything that I wanted to chat about.
Those are good nail colors too. What do you got going?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, little pink, for summer pink. See? Oh, okay, Joe, I do have one more thing. So Flagler Beach Rotary is having their first annual pickleball tournament.
Pickleball? Mm-hmm. Is the pickleball with the hand?
Nope. You have
a
little racket.
Okay.
And I think there's a little net.
Where are we doing
it's
that?
It's like a tennis thing.
At our park?
I don't know all the details, but flaglerbeachrotary.org.
Yeah. Edit that.
Well, we're just, planning it.
That's
we got it all set up. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just want everyone to know that plays pickleball or doesn't play pickleball because it's super exciting. It's going to be a great fundraiser for Rotary. No, I'm going to take pictures and video.
Right.
Yeah. Do the press for it. That'll be
There's
me.
Actually a really big there's a big racquetball scene too.
Really?
When I go play soccer at Wadsworth.
Okay.
They're like religion. We're talking like there's like 4 people in the court having like going for blood.
My dad is 82 and plays racquetball. He goes to Embry-Riddle and plays down there sometimes with the Embry-Riddle college kids. Like he comes home and he'll have like a big welt on his head or like a giant bruise right here. I'm like, Dad, what happened? And he's like, the way those kids move around the court, it's just not right. I'm like, number one, that's not fair that they're nailing you with racquetballs and you're 82 years old. But
I can see your dad going, should have seen the other guy.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So that's Riddle. Speaking of Riddle, Colleen Conklin just got her doctorate.
Yes, so
Shout out to
exciting.
her.
I know.
I texted her right
saw
away.
that
I
on
was
Facebook.
like, Dr. Conklin, congratulations.
I know.
She's supposed to come on.
Okay,
That's
good.
the thing. I plant the seed, but everyone's got, life is life.
Life is life.
And shout out to Gail Wadsworth because she's supposed to come on too.
Oh, good.
I'm like,
excellent.
some people need a lot of,
I know.
but I don't stop pulling.
Good.
But I have a nice, polite way about it. I don't text you every day.
Right.
You get like a once in a blue moon.
Right.
But,
I'll definitely keep some good peeps in mind because we have a lot of good speakers with Rotary, that come on too.
You know who I want to give a hug to is the lady at Curly Tail.
Oh, Kim. Yeah.
I need a hug, and I would love her on the show.
Okay.
I've never gotten to.
Okay.
She's like where you and I were at. I don't even know how many moons ago now.
Okay.
I want to be
fabulous.
in her like. She's putting out some great work.
Oh yes.
I love.
She's
she
been
just did
in
a thing for Susan something.
Okay.
She just did her logo and stuff, and she's got a good. She's good with colors too.
Yes.
I like her colors, and I like how anything she seems to touch has like that cool. I don't know. It's got a good flow.
Yeah,
you know
it is.
Saying?
Yeah.
But
definitely, she's amazing.
Some seed for.
I will.
You think she'll listen?
Yeah, she'll. Well, yes, I'll share the link with her, but I don't. She's not in front of the camera person. But you never know.
Hey.
This is chill, right? I'll tell her it's super chill. Cool. Yeah.
But thank you again.
Thank you for having me on. That's it. We're good. We did fabulous. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
I think we did good too. Lately, we haven't been losing connection.
Oh, good.
Lately.